Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is now 6:32. I'm Nada Irampour.
I'm Eric Connor. So glad you are with us here on this Wednesday, getting halfway through the week here. Why don't we check in with Evan and see when that fog's going to lift? I know it was pretty prevalent in the North County.
Yeah, and same case as we head now into the 6 o'clock hour. We're looking at pretty foggy conditions overall. We're going to have that fog stick around for the next couple hours, and then we'll start to see it really clear out by about 10 and 11 a.m. That's usually the time frame where we start to see improvements made. It starts to pull off along the coastline. So right now, less than a mile in Carlsbad. We're at 0.8, so just moving toward about 3/4 of a mile. Miramar is at 4 miles, Oceanside at 4 miles, Ramona seeing quite a bit of fog as well. So pretty extensive here as we head through your 6 o'clock hour. Looking along the coast and inland, we've got partial cloud cover, AM clouds, and then we'll see the sun peek out for the afternoon and evening hours. Across the mountains and deserts, temperatures are warming up pretty nicely as well, but slightly cooler than what we saw, say, earlier in the week. We did see this crash cleared, so this is the good news here. Earlier, we were tracking the crash on the 805 northbound. This is at Murray Ridge Road. We are now starting to see some improvements made on speeds on the 805, but again, in the next half hour, 45 minutes or so, we'll probably see that volume pick up on the 805 and 5. So watch out for that, but besides that, we are just tracking one other crash on the 8, it looks like. We'll give you more information on that in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Well, gas prices, they hit a new high. Today, the average price for a gallon of gas in San Diego is $5.80. That's nearly $2 more than what we were paying last year.
Now, we do have team coverage for you. CBS 8's Chris Grow tracking the new fee that Uber is charging starting today because of the rising gas prices. But we're going to start with Dana Marie McNichol with an update on the push for a suspension of that gas tax. Good morning, Dana Marie.
Good morning. I'm here in Kearny Mesa, as you can see behind me, $5.89 for just 1 gallon of gas. That's why San Diego County is the first county in California to ask for a suspension of the gas tax. We got a look inside the County Board of Supervisors meeting yesterday. Here's Jim Desmond about what he plans to do.
It's about alleviating some of the financial burden of the rising gas prices in California. So Supervisor Anderson and I are simply asking for a 1-year suspension of the state California gas tax. I think it's inexcusable to see the pictures of the gas signs at $6 and $7. And that's why I think it's critical that a temporary suspension of the 51-cent per gallon state gas tax be suspended. The gas tax hurts our seniors on fixed income, our low-income families, middle-class families, and anyone who has to drive to work.
Now, yesterday, the County Board of Supervisors did vote unanimously to send a letter to Governor Newsom asking for that suspension of the 51-cent per gallon tax. Now, the letter proposes that the governor use $6 billion from the expected state budget surplus of about $45 billion to backfill lost revenue from a gas tax suspension. Now, Board Chair Nathan Fletcher did ask the board to advocate for a mechanism to ensure that gas companies actually lower prices if that tax is suspended. The board is also supporting the governor's proposed tax rebate to help with rising fuel costs. Now, the average price of a gallon of self-serve regular gas here in San Diego County rose Wednesday for the 22nd consecutive day, increasing 3.3 cents to a record $5.80. Again, back out here in Kearny Mesa, $5.89. It's tough to see. We've been here over the past 2 weeks talking about record after record. So we will, of course, keep you updated on state legislatures and how they continue to see if they can help alleviate just a little bit at the gas pump. I'm Dana Marie McNichol, live in Kearny Mesa. I'll send it back to you.
And now, due to these high gas prices, rideshare companies are responding with a price hike of their own.
Today, an Uber fuel surcharge will be added to every trip to help drivers struggling to make a profit. CBS 8's Chris Grow is live from the San Diego International Airport with details on how much it'll cost you.
And look, Eric, Netta, we are well aware that it is getting expensive at the pump, but you got to then imagine for those people who are actually filling up maybe multiple times a day because they drive for a living or maybe even just a side hustle, they're not making what they used to. Nobody is when you put in these gas prices. So that's why now the corporation Uber is stepping up here to try to help out these rideshare drivers. Now, what you're going to be seeing, especially when you get your final bill statement there from your Uber ride, is that starting today, passengers are going to have to pay an extra $45 or 55 cents, depending on your location, where that Uber driver is coming from, and then where they are taking you. And 100% of that money will be going to the driver. So again, it is meant to be a way to try to subsidize for these high gas prices. Now, as we all know, Uber also owns Uber Eats, and they will also be adding a fuel surcharge to their orders that you put in. But that's going to be just a little bit less, 35 or 45 cents, depending on location. Now, as for how some people are reacting, now nobody wants to spend more money, especially since we're all spending more money at the pump. But of the people that we spoke with that got out of the Ubers here at the airport, they told us that they're okay with that little bit of a surcharge if it means that the Uber drivers are still able to make a living.
Uber drivers have to make a living too, so we feel for them also. They're just doing their job.
It's cost of goods sold. It's fair for everybody.
And the other big rideshare company, Lyft, we did reach out to them, and they told us that they're working on a fuel surcharge as well too to help subsidize their drivers, but the details aren't finalized just yet, so we don't have all of that information. But stick with CBS 8 because as soon as something does come out, as soon as that information is released, we'll be sure to let you know what it means. Eric and Netta.
All right, Chris Grow reporting live there. Thank you. Classes resume at Lincoln High School this morning after the campus was placed on lockdown. It happened yesterday around 2:30 p.m. as police responded to reports of a student armed with a gun. When police arrived, they located the student in the administration building. The student didn't comply with commands, so police fired a beanbag round at him and then handcuffed the student before he was treated by paramedics.
I'm looking at it from another point of view. They're saying, okay, this kid had a gun, he's 15. Why does this kid have a gun? That's my question. Why does this kid have a gun?
Authorities say the student had a ghost gun, a weapon built from parts without serial numbers, making it difficult to trace. We've been telling you a lot about these ghost guns lately. The lockdown was lifted around 4 p.m. and students were reunited with their parents.
And now it's 6:40, time for your morning rush. The sheriff's department says a man who allegedly groped a 13-year-old Spring Valley girl last Friday also tried luring a different girl into his car last month. In the most recent incident, the girl says the suspect approached her at an intersection, grabbing her inappropriately. Here's a sketch of that suspect. Now, he's described as white, 30 years old, clean-shaven, with glasses, short, curly red hair, and crooked teeth. Last month's victim says the man was driving a black Toyota Prius.
After 3 decades, the family of Diane Lynn Dawn has more insight into her murder. Dawn was found stabbed to death in May of 1988 at her Santee apartment with her 2-year-old son wandering around the complex. But significant advances in DNA technology have allowed sheriff's homicides detectives to crack this case and bring a long-awaited answer to her family. In fact, the sheriff's department will disclose that information in a media conference this afternoon. We will be there.
Following a critical state audit of the county's jails, the San Diego Board of Supervisors and Sheriff's Department say they're working to make some changes now. Chief among them would be a plan to upgrade the wireless systems at all county jails. This will help to make the findings of all in-custody fatalities public. At a supervisors meeting yesterday, the board also heard from several county jail employees who stressed they need more help to ensure inmates get proper care.
Well, a lot of you have been asking this question. Is it just time to make daylight saving time permanent? Well, the Senate has actually passed a bill to do just that.
The Sunshine Protection Act now heads to the House. If passed, we would not have to set our clocks back in the fall. During the adjustment to the time change, experts say there's initially more reports of accidents and injuries. Backers also point to other benefits to moving permanent daylight saving.
For example, reduced crime as there's light later in the day. We've seen decreases in child obesity, a decrease in seasonal depression that many feel during standard time.
If passed, the change would take effect next year, so we still have one more fall back to do.
All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see what comes of that.